you'll all recall that when the first discussions were held about this beach rebuilding, reconstruction, and we talked about $6 million. I said, no way is this going to be $6 million. I said it. I said it over and over and over again.
For the building.
And we get hung up on semantics. Okay? We're getting hung up on semantics.
Commissioner McBoy?
I think that what I'm hearing from the community and from the room is that all of us want to see this thing done and successful and working. I think all of us also want to make sure that, you know, the city is not somehow stiffed, or ultimately the residents are supporting this, you know, underwriting either businesses or some parts of it that we're not comfortable about. But I would kind of guess that the overall energy to do this really cool thing that our community's been trying to do for a quarter of a century, more than that many decades, I don't know, 30, 40 years, a long time, to get a nice building on the beach, get nice grounds to it that has some imagination, has some interesting ideas, have some businesses that we feel comfortable with as a community, that this reflects our nature. I think that sentiment is very broad in our community. And if that, to get to that end point, if it means we might have to borrow some money or set something back a little bit in capital projects, a couple less transformers that Becky Maddie wants, and we'll talk her out of them. She's our utility director. She likes transformers. That we say, can you hold off on that for a little bit longer, and it costs us an extra, I don't know, $400,000. We get some lights, and everybody is safe, and the turtles work, and we have a wonderful product. I suspect that there is a little bit of flexibility there, and maybe what we need for the 2 weeks to keep that momentum going is we need some numbers on, you know, maybe various scenarios. What does it take to get something that'll work for the lighting? What's a minimum? What's a little bit nicer, or whatever? I don't know what the adjectives would be. But those numbers, and then also the numbers on the scenarios of different types of tenants in there, and can it still work within the $6 million that's strictly for the building? I think if we had those numbers, we'd probably be a lot more comfortable moving forward with leases, and I think we all understand that there is some benefit to moving forward. Just let's do it in a way that Commissioner Maxwell is comfortable, I'm comfortable, the community is comfortable.
Commissioner Maxwell, and then I'd like to speak.
Thank you. You know, Commissioner Mulville, Commissioner McFoy.
Sure.
Well, yeah. Did I just do that out loud? Yes. You know, you just expressed what I've been saying for over a year. When I said the project was going to be more than $6 million, and we all sit there and we say it's $6 million and $5 million. What you just said was, let's just move forward as quickly as we can, and then we'll be so excited about this that we're willing to do almost anything and pay almost any price to make it all come together. And I would submit,
I didn't say that.
well, that's my interpretation. And I would submit that had we talked about the lights up front, had they been part of the plan, one or both of the plans, and we had a figure of $13 or $14 million in its totality, and $5 million was coming from the county, and we were talking about $8 or $9 or $10 million for the rest of it, I don't think this project would have been quite as palatable to the public, and that's exactly where I'm coming from right now.
Well, I think what's important to say is that I can only speak from now, okay?
Right.
And I can only speak from now, not what happened in the past or whatever happened. I can only say that I am committed to making sure that when we go forward, at least in my regards and with the hopes of everybody else's help, that we can have exact numbers. That's the issue we have now. That's the issue we have in the next project coming up. And there's always too much. I know in myself, in my own business, if I was short $2 million or $200 for that sake, it's a big difference. And to have that much flying in limbo on a regular basis when it comes to our project is confusing and concerning, to say the least. And I know we're so close and we're getting there, and I do not want there to be a sense of, the urgency in the sense of, yes, we want to make sure that the people that are working on this and have been working on it so long are feeling comfortable about it. But yes, we're at a crucial time. We're about to look at our budget to go back and say, $2 million is okay.
I'm hoping it's not.
We're talking about capital funds, we're talking about borrowing from here or borrowing from there. Either way, that money is an addition. Like I said, semantics, but is in addition to that money that's going to have to come from somewhere. And as we sit there to go through the next part of this meeting, you know, this is all, and not having that information is detrimental to us. We're looking at it from the big picture.